just to reiterate, our goal is to agree on 2 or 3 priority TEKs on simulation data so we can align our tier 1 instruction. Everybody okay with that? All right, so looking at the data, we have the most missed questions, the lowest performing, I should say, right? Now, after reviewing that, have any of y'all come up with a consensus on pretty much which one we should really focus on, which would be a high priority moving forward for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I was looking at 8.4C, which is the rate of change from graph to table. Only 26% of students got that right, and that is a very high TEK that is in the curriculum that spreads to a lot of different TEKs. So I think it'd be important to cover that again. Okay, that's good. Anybody else have one that I think that's a wonderful choice out of the, I think, 10 that we have total. But does anybody else have some input on something they thought was different?
I think 8.10C, it was tested twice and it's been tested in the past. Only 29% of students got it, and it's just translations, which is students graphing and just moving shapes around. So I think that's an easy way to get points.
Well, I agree with that. That sounds like a good TEK to cover as well. I like how you justify why you think it should be something that we should focus on. How about you, Ms. McCaffrey? Do you have something in response to them?
Yeah, well, 8.10C is a supporting TEK, whereas 8.7B is a readiness TEK, and only 18% of kids got that right, and it hasn't been covered yet. So I think we should start there, because there's 2 questions on the star under this TEK.
So I'm hearing 2 different priorities here, right? How do we decide which will be the biggest impact? Like I see 3 different priorities, but with yours, Ms. Foster, I think that one's very important because I like your decision to say how important it is for the entire curriculum. Finding slope, I think, is super important for the algebraic side of it all. So I think it's very important that we stick with that. Do you guys have any input on that?
Well, if I may interject, so that one has been covered in class, so I think you can just review it quickly rather than doing a whole reteach on it.
Okay.
But 8.7B hasn't been taught at all.
I'm gonna go back to 8.4C, since I guess it's slope, and slope is so important to algebra that we should reteach that one then, because if they can't do equations, they're in for a rough one.
So,
But it might just be like a misconception. I don't know if it is worth a whole reteach.
okay, so I feel like there is an agreement to go with that one, to go with 8.4C, but maybe not touch on it as deeply. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think it should still be reviewed, but I don't think it should be as much of a priority as 8.7B. Because again, it's only 18% of kids got it, which is lower than the 8.4C, and it hasn't been taught at all, and there were 2 questions on it.
Do you guys agree that we should cover
It's total surface area.
total surface area? So we should definitely cover 8.7B as opposed to spending a longer time on 8.4B. Do you think you should, for that priority T, spend a little more time? I mean, obviously it hasn't been taught yet. We're going to use it in the unit longer as opposed to just maybe clearing up a misconception with 8.4B.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just because the performance was so low, and again, it hasn't been taught yet. So I think that would be more important to go back and cover.
All right, so am I hearing that maybe 8.7B is going to be our first priority T here from you guys?
I think, yes.
Yeah, that
Yes,
makes
it is
sense.
priority.
It's the lowest.
All right, so I'll jot that down. Well, I'll make sure 8.7B is going to be our priority number 1. And now it's between priority number 2, going back to rate of change with Ms. Foster and translations with Mr. Lagunas. Let's hear both sides of your story again as to why you think your TEK is more priority.
Yeah, I think that, again, the rate of change, we just see it a lot more throughout the curriculum, and it goes along with a lot of other parts that we see, and will help you with other TEKs and questions. And it's also a readiness TEK as opposed to a supporting.
Okay.
But if it's seen over and over again, can't you just do a quick reteach with another standard then? Whereas
I appreciate the structure. I know how
Yeah,
the
the
structure went
structure.
down, but how did that make you feel as a teacher in that moment?
Yeah, it made me feel like we were equals. Yeah,
Okay.
like we were both the classroom teacher, and again, like I wasn't just coming in as your classroom support.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's huge. That's huge. That makes me feel really happy. So, how has this experience changed how you see your role as a leader moving forward? You know, you talked about being inexperienced and being kind of timid in the beginning. So, how does that? How do you see your role as a leader moving forward?
Yeah, again, it comes back to the confidence and how I feel comfortable taking lead in certain situations. And I would say that actually has expanded into other parts of the school for me. Like when I go to other classrooms, I have a little more confidence taking that lead in situations.
Explain more about that. How does that relationship work with your other teachers?
I actually think that it's improved just all around in all of my relationships with my co-teachers, co-workers, just with the planning, with, again, maybe doing co-teach models. And I think that actually stemmed from you giving me those opportunities in here to take lead.
Okay, and would you say it worked out the same? Maybe not as well, or is just kind of explain more about that?
Yeah, I think it definitely, again, like in here, it took time to sort out and perfect. But I've definitely grown. It's grown with all of my other co-teachers too.
That's great. So I remember that time. It was kind of very eye-opening for me to see that happen in a classroom because I had never experienced it before. I always had the same old boring model: one teach, one observe, or the one teach, one support. And it's like we found ourselves in a situation where, like, yes, not that those are bad models. Those can be implemented in the classroom at the right times. But with Parallel Teach, you opened up my eyes with showing the students, strategically placing the students where they needed to be, and then giving them, not only us or yourself, as the confidence to be a leader in the classroom, as an equitable leader, but even giving the kids the confidence to speak up and talk to each other and advocate for themselves. It was a really good experience for me. Through that process, first coming into the school, you have your ideas. What were some of the goals that you had set for yourself?
Yeah, one of the biggest goals for me was figuring out data collection and just how to best support the students based off the data that we're able to collect.
Okay, so that data collecting is huge, right? That's a huge thing that I run in my classroom. What does data collection look like for the special education support teacher?
Yeah, so again, we definitely did some data collection together. We were looking at that. For the special education side, that really drives the IEPs. And so I'd collect data on not just scores, but maybe what they're doing in the classroom too.
It's like qualitative data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you put all that together and then it provides you the structure that you need to create an IEP.
Mm-hmm.
And you created a process throughout that. How's that process looking for you now? Like,
Yeah.
was it a struggle in the beginning and now it's getting better?
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle in the beginning. I definitely feel way more confident in the data collection now.
So, how has that helped you in the general education classroom, data collection?
Yeah, it's definitely helped drive the instruction, and I think, again, with our lesson planning, especially from the STAR simulation, I think we were able to gather a lot of data from that, looking at most missed TEKS, the untaught TEKS.
What do you mean by untaught TEKS? Or most missed TEKS kind of makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you explain more what untaught means?
It's TEKS that we weren't able to cover yet going into the STAR that we need to cover.
Okay, why weren't they taught yet? Does that make sense? Like, we were calling them untaught TEKS.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain more? Coming from running our school year, right?
Yeah.
Going through the pacing guide.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the reason why some of them were untaught? Was it timing? Was it? Do you know where I'm getting at?
Yeah, I think it was the timing of our curriculum
And
and
the simulation.
and
It was
simulation.
because simulation's
where
done
the
too early.
simulation, I think, landed in our timing of our
Pacing count.
pacing.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that,
Mhm.
not just because we're taking too long
Yeah.
at a time, right? It was just like where they put the simulation within our school year.
Mhm.
So one of the skills you develop through the process is the data collection. What's an example when you use that skill during a meeting, or how has that benefited you moving forward?
Yeah, so like I said, I feel like I grew a lot in that area, and the school district was actually looking for an exemplar data collection.
I remember
and
that.
Yeah, and the admin team came up to me and wanted to work together with me on that.
You being the new guy,
Yeah.
on campus, they came to you. I remember you telling me about it, but I don't remember following up with you on that. Can you tell me more about how that happened, or how it went through?
Yeah, so I worked with my admin on just the data that I collected throughout the year, and we put it together and we submitted it to the district, and then they passed it to their higher ups.
Higher ups being like
Like
state of Texas.
Yeah, TEA.
TEA took a look at your stuff, and an admin was confident enough to use your data collection and your exemplar.
Mhm.
Oh man, that's great. I'm so sorry I forgot to even talk to you about that. We've been so busy, I forgot about it all. So that's wonderful. And it seems like your goal for this year has kind of taken off and become something you've gotten better at. So that's really great. It shows a lot about your growth mindset. Let me ask you, how will this experience that we've shared influence how you collaborate moving forward?
Yeah, I think I got really lucky with this collaboration as my first go as a new teacher.
Well, that makes two of us. I feel
Yeah,
the same way.
yeah, and I think I'm gonna take everything that I've learned of how to collaborate and being able to again be confident in those situations, go in knowing that I am the equal in the situation.
Yeah, I really want you to take that and move forward with that.
Yeah.
Because it's just not about, hey, I'm just here for support. No, we're like equal partners. Let's do this together. I appreciate that. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So again, just like knowing that I'm an equal and taking that into the collaboration space when I'm working with those co-teachers.
All right. So, what feedback do you have for me as your facilitator?
Yeah, I feel like you did a great job facilitating, and I feel like the way that we were able to work together and collaborate really benefited the students and how they were able to grow throughout the year.
I love that you're bringing the students back into it and how they've improved, and kudos to them. I know they've done a great job. But what I really want to focus on is us as a team. How did we do? What did you do differently that helped that happen?
Yeah. Again, I think you allowing me to come into your classroom, you treating me like an equal, you allowed me, I made a lot of mistakes. I grew up with them.
As we both did, and,
Yeah.
and that's just kind of part of the process, is how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I grew a lot, and it felt like true collaboration, again, equals, and yeah, I think it worked really well.
Well, for sure, I am, if not luckier, but I also feel just as lucky to be a part of your team, because it's not just my team, this is us together, and I felt like that's the mindset we've had from the beginning. You've helped bring that fresh set of ideas into my classroom, and I hope that you've always felt that I've been open about it, whether I've been stubborn in the beginning or not. And I'm sure I am, like sometimes I probably forget that, but it's been a great time working with you, and I know how crazy and lucrative working in any district can be at this day and age for this system, and I hope that we can continue to work together next year. I got my fingers crossed, got my toes crossed. I'm hoping everything works out, that we just continue having this exact same structure for next year. So I really appreciate you being here with me again. Thank you so much. I really could not have done any of this without you. I appreciate you. All right?
Absolutely.
Thanks.